Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome back to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Alright guys, today I am pretty excited. I'm going to be diving into the new limit break draw for the Sephiroth and Zack banner. For those of you guys that watched my news update video on week 3 commences, you saw as well as I that both of these weapons are pretty incredible. Zack now has the strongest elemental damage weapon in the game when he is above 70% HP, and Sephiroth has officially the first actually powerful AoE weapon in the game, and not only that, it becomes even more powerful when you're fighting a single target enemy. Now, that being said, let's go over here to the draw. Let's check this out. I'm going to be going through these weapons one at a time and giving you guys exactly the breakdown that you guys are going to need to know. My thoughts and feelings on whether or not these weapons are worth pulling for. I will be giving that kind of review in regard to free-to-play players, minnows and dolphins, and then whales, of course. I feel like you guys already know exactly what you want and you're going to go for it. So at the beginning of this video, I'm just going to say good luck to you guys that are already pulling. If you know you're pulling and you're going for it, I wish you guys the best of luck. May she be with you. All right. So that being said, I don't have any free draws right here. So let's just go over here straight to the new banner, Sephiroth and Zack. And yeah, the first thing I'm going to do, which is my typical, is I want to go in here and I want to check out the costumes, all right? From the beginning, I thought that Zack looked absolutely incredible. I love the fact that his costume is more dark than light. It really does kind of have like a Sephiroth kind of vibe to it, right? But then Zack just wears it so well. I mean, let's go in here. If you look at these vambraces right here, I just love the kind of life stream energy that's flowing through him. He's got the kind of chest armor right here with the kind of open flared cloak. It does the same thing in the back. We have the pauldrons up here on his shoulder with the same kind of design. They keep showing Zack with his longer hairstyle, but I wish they would sometimes use his younger hairstyle, which I personally like better. Looking at him from behind here, he has like a little bit of a kind of scarf cloak that kind of hangs down, but it has really nice animation on the movement right here. The sword itself is pretty beautiful. It's not quite as big as Cloud's, but the sword is really cool. It has kind of like a golden animation here that's kind of encompasses the life stream. It has this kind of guard that comes up from the hilt right here. It has the separated blades on the edge, like all careening forward to this like bright silver blade. It's a beautiful, beautiful sword. Doesn't have too much on the pommel right here, but the sword itself is awesome. I love the vambraces. I love the gloves. The whole thing is just really, really cool. He's got these greaves down here that look like they're just shin plate greaves, and he's wearing like a kind of black soldier first class trousers underneath with the nice belt. He looks awesome, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I know not as many people are like building Zack in the game. He's never really been super kind of incredible, but I've always loved Zack. I mean, I played Crisis Core on PSP, beat everything in that game. I just got the Platinum Trophy on Crisis Core Reunion. I think he's an awesome character and kind of a breath of fresh air, his personality-wise, in the Final Fantasy VII universe. Now, let's head away from Zack and let's look at Sephiroth right here. All right, guys, so Sephiroth also looks pretty damn cool. I love the fact that his costume is lighter, especially in his young form. He kind of has like a more, you get the better side of Sephiroth, right? You get like the part of him that really earned that position of a true hero. And I feel like this costume kind of reflects that. You know, we have like this full kind of cloaked costume that comes down. His isn't open on the back of the inside like Zack's is right here, but he does have the kind of cross hatched belt right here. He has the sword sheathed to his hip along with a secondary sword, which is pretty interesting. I feel like it would have been cool if in his animation he pulled this second sword out. I know that's not possible because you can skin the costume and it doesn't really work with everything, but honestly, it's really cool. They rarely show the sheaths on these costumes, and here we have the sheath shown on his. It is just a basic metallic sheath right here. It does have a little bit of the life stream kind of color essence on it. But other than that, Sephiroth is not nearly as armored as Zack, but he is kind of a more agile character, I think, whereas Cloud and Zack tend to be a little bit more brawlery. They use a bigger sword. They're slower off the bat anyway. Now, if we go over here, we check out his sword. It does look like, I mean, if you look at the wallpaper, it's like it looks like the life stream is flowing through it. Not so much right here, but either way, it still looks incredible. It does have the 3 materia slots right here. The guard is like a full circle with a kind of indented in the 4 places right here, kind of like a compass. The hilt itself is pretty beautiful with the life stream color flowing through it, and then the pommel is just black on white again. So honestly, the whole thing is pretty damn cool. I do think that Zack's costume does look better, although I do think Sephiroth's is pretty damn amazing. Now, next thing I want to check out is the actual animations for these cool new weapons right here. So I'm just going to skip through right here, and we're going to be able to see them on the next panel. So here's Sephiroth's, which is like a pretty sick ability. Like for those of you that saw that that played Crisis Core and saw Sephiroth fight Genesis and Angeal, and when he kind of destroys the Junon cannon when they're in that simulator, this attack that Sephiroth is doing right here looks like that attack. And to me, that is absolutely awesome, because I remember when I was first playing Crisis Core and I saw that scene, I was blown away by how sick it was when it's like the cannon's falling in chunks down to the sea and he lands on the end of one. He's just sinking down beneath the camera, and then it's like so sick. All right, so the animations are pretty rad. I think Zack's right here. Zack's animation will come after Sephiroth's. Let's see that one. Igniting Stream. Yeah, it is pretty sick, kind of like a fire blade beam. So in regards to aesthetics, I give Zack a 10 out of 10 on the costume. Sephiroth, I'm going to give him like a 9 out of 10. And yeah, I think I'll give him a 9 out of 10. The swords themselves, they both look amazing. I think that they're both incredible looking weapons. They do look super cool. I feel like anyone that pulls on these banners is going to be, you know, fighting in these costumes for a long time to come, and both of these weapons can definitely be used as skins, and they're going to be pretty freaking awesome. All right, now let's go back and let's look at the costume itself. So we're going to look at Zack first. His boosts magic attack and also gives him a fire arcanum. It is Zack's first arcanum costume. Now, if you do have Cloud's fire arcanum costume, I will say this is by no means necessary. There is no content so far in the game where, you know, if you have a physical weapon, you know, and they're resistant to physical, you can't use a magic one, etc. Like as of right now, it hasn't mattered, regardless of the boss, for using a physical or a magic weapon. Now, that's not to say that there isn't going to be things in the future coming. I'm guessing that there will be. This is a gacha game. They are going to push us to get different things. I do know that it is a goal for myself to have a physical and magic arcanum costume set for each element, right? But that's a long-term goal, and you don't have to get them all right away. However, However, with the special R abilities on these weapons, they do have a kind of a notch up from other things, and that's why these banners are limited. Now, I'm not a fan of them doing so many limited banners back to back. I mean, it's pretty brutal, and it definitely wears on the players. You know, for free-to-play players, it can become more and more of a burden because you're seeing less and less of something that you can pull for, especially for something like a limited banner where you want to get a higher OB level. Now, I will say that these weapons in particular are very strong, even if you just have it at OB1. So this isn't one of those things where, like, for the Tifa's Guide Gloves, you're kind of really wanting to get it to like OB6. Like, for example, I pulled Zidane's sword, I got it to OB2, and I basically never used it because it just wasn't quite powerful enough. It never paired up with like Cloud being in a Thunder God build and using the Murasame, or using some type of elemental build. It just never could hold up, even if the content was asking for a non-elemental weapon. So in that case, you do want to be kind of pulling to go for a certain OB level. But on these banners, what I found from the first one is that, you know, you can break. I saw, you know, I had my friend J-Ro come on here and we did some kind of test battles. And we saw Glenn with an OB1 weapon with 4100 attack doing more damage than I was doing with an OB10 Maritime sword. Now, I did not have a Water Arcanum costume. I did not have water sub-weapons equipped, but still, it's pretty surprising, and my point is that they will serve you well. This isn't something where you need to just go ham for it. If you like one of these characters, if you like one of their costumes, and I do recommend Sephiroth over Zack, especially if you have Cloud Sky Splitter, Fire Arcanum costume, then go for that. But at the end of the day, you got to follow your heart. If you love Zack and you want to pull for him, then you just got to do that. This is a game, right? It's meant for us to have fun and enjoy it. I've never really found myself one to really compete with other people. Even when I am competing with other people, I'm really just competing with myself, right? And, you know, I'm fortunate because I learned that from lots of years of martial arts, lots of years of surfing, and lots of years of rock climbing. And that kind of keeps me, you know, balanced. So I think shoot for having fun. Go with what your favorite character is, and you won't really go wrong. You know, if you're having trouble clearing content, come join our Discord. We will help you out. Team builds, weapons, what you need to wish list, everything you need to know, etc. We have a link in the description if you guys want to come join it. The Discord's called The Cursed One. All right, now we've checked out Zack's costume. I'm going to jump back over to Sephiroth's right here before we go into the weapons, right? So Sephiroth, who I think is the primary choice on this banner, his costume is going to have boost HP plus 10 and magic ability mastery plus 15%. Now, I am pretty certain, correct me if I'm wrong, that this is the magic version of Tifa's cowgirl costume, which was essentially the non-elemental physical Arcanum costume. So meaning that this would be the non-elemental magic Arcanum costume. So if we go here, yeah, so this is going to give its own ability. It stacks with the other magic ability potency, and it's going to give you an extra 15% on top. It's very, very, very powerful. Plus you get HP in the front end right here. It's a pretty incredible costume, you guys, and the whole set for Sephiroth is just absolutely bonkers. All right, so that being said, I am going to look at these weapons right now, all right? So I'm going to start with Sephiroth's Protector's Blade. Okay, now I wish they still showed this at level 99. Applebot, if you are here watching, if any of you are seeing this video, you should still show the stats at level 90 and level 120. That would be helpful for all characters trying to compare differences, etc. And for me, I would just prefer that. All right, so at base 5-star, one single copy, right, which is guaranteed, which you'll be guaranteed to get if you run through the stamp card up to stamp 6, right? The weapon is going to have 201 physical attack, 278 magic attack, 174 healing. The ability, Protector's Blow, is going to deal 500% magic non-elemental damage with a range of all enemies. Now, this is the first powerful weapon that we've actually had that can deal AoE damage. However, when you are against a single target, it deals 1.3 times damage. So this weapon, although it has a cap of 900%, right? At OB10, it's going to be 900%. Against one single opponent, it's still going to deal 1200%. Correct me if my math is wrong, but I'm pretty sure that that's more or less correct, right? Which is only 100% less than the Guide Gloves and Zidane's sword. So it's not going to be quite as powerful, but with the fact that you get magic attack all allies and the R abilities, and we just realized with the first limit break draw banner how strong this is, it might be even more powerful. Now, only testing will conclude that. So hopefully maybe I can jump on the Discord, make a new video, maybe with J-Ro, someone to test out these weapons and show how powerful they really are. But we'll just have to see and, you know, see what the cards have in store for us in regard to that. Now, if we jump back down here to base 5-star, you are going to be getting plus 30 magic attack to all allies at level 120, which is pretty damn powerful. And then also boost magic ability potency plus 12 right here, which is going to get you to attack stance plus 15% at max. Now, if we go to the support materia, we have Magic Attack Boost 1, Magic Attack Boost 1, which is going to give you 20% in the first materia and the second materia slot. And then we also have a Circle Sigil Boost. I do love Circle Sigil Boost, or actually I love any Sigil Boost or Sigil Breakers on weapons. They make fights so much easier. I did think that there might be something different on this one other than the Sigil Break, so I am a tad surprised to see it. I thought there might be something new, but I'm not complaining. It is definitely super powerful. Now, if we take it up to OB6 right here, right, which is what's going to be what most mortals are shooting for, and this is limited, right? So, you know, if you're planning on getting this to OB6 and, you know, using some weapon parts, you are going to be shooting for OB4 at a minimum, right? Because then you only need 400 weapon parts, which at the, you know, which should only take a few months if you have none. Now, most people have some saved up, right? I think I have 225 for Sephiroth right now. I think I have 100 on Zack because I accidentally used some on the ceremonial sword. So don't do that if you guys are doing that. But other than that, if we look at it at OB6, the boost magic attack is going to go from 30 to 40. The boost magic ability potency is going to go from 12 to 27. And the protector's blow is going to go from 500% to 740%. Now, there is a kind of hidden damage bonus in here. When you go from base 5-star to OB1, this damage increases. I wish it showed that. It should show base 5-star, OB1, OB6, OB10. It doesn't do that for some reason. I don't know why they don't do that. However, this is still going to be pretty damn powerful, 740%, and it's going to deal the extra damage against the single target enemy. If it didn't do that, I don't think that this would be as worth to pull for. However, this R ability right here is absolutely incredible. Now, if we take it all the way to OB10, you're going to get the full 900% magic non-elemental damage, crit rate 10%, and you're going to get a total of boost magic attack all allies 46, which is going to take you all the way to all allies magic attack plus 60 and plus 25% all across the board. This can stack with other weapons of its kind, which is incredible, right? Then you're also going to get boost magic ability potency plus 39, which is going to take you to attack stance command gauge max, magic ability damage plus 60%, plus the 15% from the costume stacked on top of that. It is extremely powerful. Now, for me, I never go for OB10 on banners. I personally don't. It's such a crystal drain, and there's nothing in the game that actually requires it, right? So you really only need OB6 even for the hardest things. There are very few fights where, you know, something else would be needed. Something like the Bahamut EX2 fight, but even then there's players that have done it without having any OB10 weapons. So there's literally nothing in the game as of right now where you need that. So for me, I'm always shooting for OB6, And this is going to be a weapon that I don't know if I'll ever get to OB10. It depends on how they bring these weapons back, right? So, but that being said, the weapon itself is absolutely incredible. If you don't have, a lot of us have physical non-elemental damage weapons now. And, this is really the first of its kind for a powerful magic non-elemental damage weapon. And I'm guessing there's going to be some content coming in the future. So honestly, I think this is definitely in the top 3 best weapons in the game. So now I'm going to go over what I think about pulling here in a second after I look at Zack's weapon. And I'm going to explain how I feel based on what kind of playstyle you are. All right, so let's go over here to the Stream Guard. We'll take it to base 5-star level 120. It does have 207 physical attack, 277 magic attack, 170 healing. It's going to be the same on the stats right here, except for the fire potency is a little lower. This is boost magic attack all allies plus 30, boost fire potency plus 8, which is only going to get you 15% fire ability damage. It's actually not bad. Its base damage will be 480% magic fire damage with a range of a single enemy. It'll do 1.2 times more damage at HP over 70%, which in a tough fight is going to be off and on, let's be real. Now, if we go over to the support materia, it's going to be the same as Sephiroth's, except for X sigil boost instead of circle. So super good on the 2 materia slots, and then the sigil break, like I said, is fantastic all around. Now, if we take this up to OB6, it's going to jump to 609 magic attack, a huge jump. It's going to go to 710% magic fire damage, which is going to increase up to, 142, like roughly 850% magic fire damage when his HP is above 70%, which is super solid. Essentially the same as Sky Splitter at OB10, right? But on top of that, you are going to get this very, very powerful boost magic attack to all allies, and the fire potency is going to go up to 18, which is going to put you at fire ability damage plus 25%, plus the 35% you get from the fire Arcanum. So very, very, very powerful. Now, if we look at it in its truest form, OB10, magic attack goes from 609 to 664, so not a huge jump. Magic attack plus 46 to all allies, fire potency only to 26, which takes you to fire ability damage plus 40%. So not bad, but a lot of these elemental potency weapons go to 39 at OB10. So it is a tad low on the fire potency here. So I am going to say that Sephiroth's is the key weapon on this banner. However, if you do not have a Fire Arcanum costume, it's still going to be very, very important to have one. Now, all that being said, I'm going to go into who I think should pull and why. Alright, so should you pull on this banner? Normally for a limited banner, I would say if you don't have at least 55 or 60,000 crystals, don't pull on it, because you're definitely shooting for at least OB6. Limited weapons are extremely hard to build. Character-specific weapon parts are rarer than they seem, and it can take a very long time to build them up. I put in probably 400 character-specific weapon parts into Cloud, into my Zidane sword, and now I've just gotten to the point where those were just wasted because now I'm just saving them for other new Cloud limited weapons. So really what you want is, you don't want to be needing 800 specific weapon parts to finish a weapon. Now, most people who are worried about pulling are not going to be taking these weapons to OB10, which means OB6 is going to be your crown jewel. So now I would say typically, like I was saying before, that you want to have around 55 or 60,000 crystals because you're trying to get to OB4. However, these weapons, even at lower OB levels, have a saving grace. That saving grace is in the form of their R abilities, the magic attack up to the party. So even if you get these weapons to OB1, OB2, I still think they're going to be powerful. So if you have about as many blue crystals as I have right here, about for one stamp card, I would ask yourself, do you have a non-elemental damage weapon? If the answer is yes, Do you have one that is at OB6? If the answer is no, what level is it at? Is it close to OB6? Is it not close to OB6? If you don't have something that can fill that gap, then this might be a good banner for Sephiroth for you. If you're more interested in Zack, the question is, do you have another Fire Arcanum costume? Do you have the one for Cloud? Now, if you have the one for Cloud, there's really no need to pull for Zack, right? And most people are going to have to choose one of these characters. The tricky part is that because there's two characters on one banner right here, it's going to be even harder to get the weapon that you want in the random pulls, right? So it could go your way, but then it might also not go your way at the same time. So it is kind of a tricky thing here. So normally my go-to is, you know, if I won't pull on a banner at all if I don't have enough to at least get to the costume, right? You're always pulling for the costume, right? So that's 36,000 crystals. It almost never will cost that much because of the stamp system. So if you do have that many crystals and you do really like this banner, then yeah, you can go for one of those two choices and take it all the way through the first costume. You know, choose Sephiroth, choose Zack. You'll guaranteed get one copy of the weapon, hopefully another on the way, and you'll get the costume. Now, I do want to add that there is likely a new character coming to Ever Crisis at some point in time in these 7 weeks. Now, I did just put out a video revealing who that character might be. I'm not going to spoil that in this video because this video is not a spoilers video, but just check back on my recent videos if you want to see what I had to say concerning that and what the data mine had to show. So, you know, it might be pertinent to wait a little bit on these banners. Keep saving your crystals, see what else is coming. They are going to last all the way to April 7th, which I believe is the 6th week. So there's going to be one more week after these banners drop. And I'm guessing right when these banners drop, there's going to be a new character. So hopefully we should get some information through the data mine regarding that character before these weapons are gone. That's normally how it is. So if you are interested in seeing that character, if you think that this banner is going to make you completely out of crystals, then yeah, just wait. They're not going anywhere for right now. It's totally chill to just wait for it. There's no content that is anywhere near requiring this whatsoever. So there's no rush. All right, guys, there's no rush whatsoever. Take your time, really think about it, review your account. If you really want more of an in-depth analysis of what you should or should not pull for, come join our Discord group. We have tons of people willing to help you guys figure out what your account could use and how to use it, how to pull for those, and what you should be wish listing on these banners. So that being said, I guess the highlight of this video, or my kind of concluding thoughts, is that normally I would say don't pull unless you can go OB6. For these, I think even if you get it OB1, OB2, OB3, they're still going to serve you really well. So even if you have only enough crystals to go through the stamp card once, choose which character is going to best match your account, or choose whichever character is your favorite and go ham pulling for them. However, if you are interested in what might be a new character coming to Ever Crisis, hold off. You don't need these right now. We'll see what's coming, and then we'll get a better idea of what we should do in the meantime. That being said, I hope this video helped you guys today. I hope you have a better understanding of this banner, the costumes, the weapons, how they're viable in the meta. And yeah, that's my job. I'm here to help you guys in Ever Crisis. I love this game. I've been a Final Fantasy fan my whole life, and I'm happy to share my thoughts on it with you guys. So if this video was helpful for you guys today, don't forget to like the video. I really appreciate it. And if you're keen on future content, don't forget to sub to the channel. That being said, I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope those of you who are pulling on the banner have the best of luck. Take care, everyone, and peace.